here. It's back with Maddy. And yeah, so this week's video, I just want to talk a little bit about nationals with Maddy, because this was Maddy's last nationals. She's a senior, so she's not coming back to the team next year. But just like talking about the overall experience of winning a national championship and like what that means to our program, because it is a pretty big deal. It's a really big deal.
Yeah, it is.
It's not just like a pretty big, like it's a big deal. And yeah, I just want to like talk a little bit about it because I feel like dance at the collegiate level gets overlooked a lot, and like no one really understands the importance of like nationals for us and what we work towards all year. Obviously, you guys have been following like with the journey all year, or pretty much the entire spring semester. So I just want to like talk about why all of that work went into this 1 2-minute dance. Actually 2 2-minute dances technically, but it was really, really successful for one of those two. So yeah. So first of all, this is the first national title that the college has gotten since, I think it was 1973.
46 years.
Yes.
46 years.
We're a little excited about that, if you can't tell. But yeah, like that's like a really big deal that we just won the first national title for the college in like decades. Like sometimes like it really doesn't even sink in for me. Because like you work so hard, and like dance, like we're a club. We're not a sport. We're not under, athletics in any way, shape, or form. We just like dance at the basketball games. But we also compete on our own. We're funded through a budget with student engagement. We fundraise over like $8,000. Like it's just crazy that we put all of this work in under a program that's like not really under athletics and really doesn't have much backing by athletics, to then win the college's first national title in over 40 years. Like that blows my mind.
It's crazy.
And so yeah, like I don't know, Maddy, like what did you so Maddy joined the team her junior year. Mm-hmm. And she transferred here from St. John's. So like what was that like coming into a team like this, and like knowing that we really, and like I'm serious, like last year we came in 11th. So like this was huge to jump up from 11th to 1st. So like what was that like for you, as it being like the worst year it felt like to like the best year?
I mean, it was insane. First off, like I've never danced like this before, so like even though we came in 11th, I was like, wow, this is great, like I still love this. But then to put so much work in, and then not reach the goal that you wanted, it's really makes you feel defeated and like super emotional, but it also motivates you, and that's, I think, what did it this year. Our whole story was told through the dances, and it was dope.
Yeah. All right, so Maddy's gonna ask me a question now.
So what did you feel on stage when they called us as number one?
I lost my mind. I don't know, I put it in last week's video, but when they announced that we were, two things. So when they announced we made it to finals, I flipped out. I started I screamed. I was like, oh my God! I immediately like grabbed my coach, hugged her for like way too long. Like she was like, I think that's the longest you've ever hugged me. I was like, I think that's the longest I've ever hugged anyone. Like it was absolutely insane. I lost my mind. I couldn't stop crying because I was just so proud of the team and everyone, like knowing that like all of our hard work paid off. And that was before we even knew we were going into finals in first. Like that was just making it to finals, because it brought me back to freshman year when we made finals, and like the excitement that we felt, like it's just like incomparable. Like you can't, like I just can't even think of like another scenario where I felt like that much pride and just excitement. So, like, that was really cool. And, like, that was really emotional. And then when we were on bandshell and, like, they announced that we weren't second place, like, at first I was like, I remembered what our coach said, because she told us, you know, you have to let, like, if this happens, if by some miracle you stay in first and you win, you have to let the second place team have their moment. Because, like, second place is nothing to, like, turn your nose up to. Like, you know, like, that's, like, really impressive. So, yeah, so we were like, all right, we gotta let them have their moment. So immediately, as soon as they called our name, there's a picture where my face was just, like, I'm gonna put it in the video.
All of
but
us were confused.
We were all really confused, like, honestly confused. And then, oh, there's public safety. And so, I don't know, I got scared.
I'm at a hydrant. So.
Yeah, oh, that's why. So, like, we were all just really, really confused. And, like, but also simultaneously, I was like, guys, clap. Like, stop. Like, don't freak out yet. Clap. Because, like, I just wanted, I wanted Weber to have their moment. Because, like, that's really impressive. And they were back-to-back national, like, title holders. Mm-hmm. So they were going for 3 in a row. And, like, that's insane. And, like, kudos to them.
But that makes it so much more dope for us. What?
No.
Like teams that literally win. Like, our goal was to make finals, but we won NDA. Like, that's insane. Oh, Little Manhattan College, the Jasper Dancers.
No one knows who we are. Like, that's the other thing. We're such a small school. Like, I was, like, looking through the numbers with our coach of, like, the other schools that we competed against in our category, and, like, just the finals, like, teams alone, like, Providence has, I can't remember the exact numbers, but every single school, Providence, Elon, University of Illinois Chicago, University at Albany, I'm trying to think of who else was in that Weber State, like, all of these other schools, Sacred Heart, they all have larger undergraduate, like, student pools. So obviously you're gonna have more dancers to choose from, because, like theoretically there's more dancers that are attending these colleges. So that alone, I mean, and we're a small team to begin with. Some of these schools have 20 plus dancers on that stage at the same time. We had 10.
Yeah.
And, like,
and what was our staging score?
Our staging score was, I think, the highest.
Yeah, it was.
And, like, staging, like, obviously the judges score you based on different criterion and, you know, whatever, like, but staging is something that typically looks a lot better when you have more people, like, more bodies to fill a stage. And we still beat these big teams. Like, it blows my mind. It literally, like, there's no other way for me to even, like, wrap my head around it and comprehend it, because it's seriously, like, as, like, awful as this sounds, in my mind, it shouldn't have happened. You know?
It doesn't feel right.
It doesn't feel right. And that's, like, really upsetting, because, like, you work so hard and you put in all this effort, and to say that you won, like, you should feel, like, so, just, like, and, like, I'm not saying, like, I'm not proud or anything like that. It's just, it almost feels off, because we're so small, and because we're
I feel like we're gonna get a letter in the mail. Like, oh, psych. Yeah.
And I guess that comes down to us, like, really needing to give ourselves more credit, because we have the talent and we have the capabilities, and it's just,
and the passion. Kate is so good.
Yeah.
Kate does everything and more.
Yeah.
And we want to give, you know, everything.
To give back to what she's put into this program, and, like, what every other girl has put into, you know, like, I always say, like, we are dancing for the Jasper dancers of the past, Jasper dancers of the future. And, like, also, like, you're putting in 110%, knowing that the girl next to you is also putting in 110%. And it's just kind of like an unspoken thing where we're killing ourselves, like, mentally and physically for 2 minutes down on that stage.
A little emotionally, too.
Like, you know, and, yeah, like, emotionally killing yourselves for 2 minutes.
But it's so worth it.
It's so worth it.
Whether you make finals, you don't make finals, or you win NDA, like, it's worth it regardless of the outcome.
Oh, I love dancing.
Me too.
I love dancing for the Jasper dancers.
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy.
Jasper's forever.
Yeah. All right, this has been like a 6-minute rant now.
Yeah.
I was gonna splice it up. Whatever. I think you get our point, and I think you understand how much this is meant to us, and like how we're still kind of in shock, clearly, but we're ready for next year, and like we're gonna miss Maddy a lot. I'm gonna miss Maddy a lot. I think everyone's gonna miss Maddy.
Yeah, I'll miss myself on the team. Please cut that out.
Maybe, but yeah. So tune in next week for the final. I don't know if this will be the final. Oh yeah, the Jaspies are next Sunday. I'll definitely film that. That's a fun one. All right. Well, we'll see you next week.